I had left a poem that my son had wrote with your joining finger, and I was wondering if he'd ever gotten it to you. He's a United States Marine who's done 2 tours in Iraq and is going to be deployed for a 3rd tour.
I honestly don't know. I'm so buried in appropriation bills, I don't get here more than about 10 minutes a day. So I've seen very little of this money.
Okay, because it was, my son has suffered from PTSD, and it's had multiple suicide attempts, yeah, and he tried to get help through the VA, and it took us 6 months to get his first appointment with the VA, and they told him it sounds like after 10 minutes, it sounds like you've got child initials. But he was able to go 4 years in the Marines, 2 deployments to Iraq, honorable discharge, presidential unit citation, and he was just fine for that. And now that he needs help with the VA, he's got child issues.
We're having hearings, we're having today and Wednesday and all around. These guys are continually screwing God. Help washing closest full.
Well, I've been talking about this for over a year now, and nobody seems to be paying much attention.
Well, I guarantee that what's happened to Walter Lee, that's the trigger that blew up the whole damn thing. Pay attention.
Okay, what about the continuing, are you going to be voting against the supplemental?
Absolutely not. I'm the sponsor of the supplemental.
For to continue the war?
It doesn't. The president wants to continue the war. We're trying to use the supplemental to end the war, but you can't end the war if you vote against the supplemental. It's time these idiot liberals understand that there's a hell of a difference between defunding the troops and ending the war. I'm not going to deny body armor. I'm not going to deny funding for veterans hospitals and for defense hospitals so you can help people who've got medical problems. That's what you do if you vote against that bill.
But there should be enough money already in the regular defense bill without continuing the funding for the war.
There isn't. There isn't. That's not the way it works. The money in the defense bill, it pays for a standing army, but it doesn't pay for these recurring costs. We're going to add over $1 billion more to what the president is asking for in that bill so we can deal with exactly some of the problems you're talking about. How the hell do you get money to the hospitals if we don't provide the money?
Well, are you going to be in support then of...
I hate the war. I voted against it to start with. I was the first guy in the Congress to call for Rumsfeld's resignation, but we don't have the votes to defund the war, and we shouldn't, because that also means defunding everything that you got in that bill to help guys who are the victims of the war.
Well, there's an amendment to the supplemental that's being proposed to fully fund the withdrawal of the troops. Are you in favor of that? Well, so that the funds will be...
It doesn't work that way. The language we have in the resolution ends the authority for the war. It makes it illegal to proceed with the war. You don't have to fund something if the war doesn't exist.
Oh, I didn't know that was in the...
That's the
in
problem.
the supplemental.
That's the problem. The liberal groups are jumping around without knowing what the hell is in the bill. You don't have to cut off funds for an activity that no longer is legal.
And then approach it from that way.
We're shutting it off.
What about the church amendment that helped end the Vietnam War back in, what was it, 72, 73?
It took us 31 different efforts to get there. I was here for that effort.
Okay.
I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Didn't that help end the ground war in Vietnam by the church?
No, it didn't. The political pressure on the administration finally is what ended the war. I mean, the amendment that finally ended the funding was the Gabel amendment. I was the sponsor of the Gabel.
But if you pass a resolution, isn't he still the commander-in-chief?
We don't have the votes to pass it. We couldn't even get the votes to pass a non-binding resolution 1 week ago. How the hell do you think we're going to get the votes to cut off the war?
You want me to vote? Funding.
How if you don't have the votes? It takes 200
to filibuster his supplemental request.
There is no filibuster in the House.
Well, in the Senate they could do it. All they need is 40 votes.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to vote for it. I'm the sponsor of the bill that's going to be on the floor, and that bill ends the war. If that isn't good enough for you, you're smoking something that ain't legal.
No, I'm not, sir. No, I'm not.
You got your facts screwed up.
When are we going to...
How would it end the war? It's non-binding. How would it affect what he's doing at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue?
The votes. You see a magic wand in my pocket?
No.
How the hell are we going to get the votes for it? We ain't got the votes for it. We do have the votes. If you guys quit screwing it up, we do have the votes to end the legal authority for the war. That's the same as defunding it. Without having,
How can we
yes,
help?
it would.
Tell us how we can win it. How would
I'm
it
not
help?
going to debate it.
No, because your facts are wrong. It wouldn't end, sir.
Sir,
Go fuck
the last
somebody
question
else.
was just how can we help, and just so we can talk together.
Goodbye.